Oh, good, good, good. Hi, you guys. This is Joellen Newman. I'm the founder and owner of Transforming Your Tomorrows, a life and business coaching company. But every Wednesday night, if you follow me, you know I host Entrepreneurs on the Rise, my program where I get to the opportunity and the pleasure, the privilege, and the honor to host guests who are entrepreneurs from throughout this country. And they're eclectic, they're smart, they're just dynamic people, and I have both men and women. And tonight I'm really excited because I met this woman through friends. We've actually never met in person, but we've got to scribe with each other and get back and forth, and just we had a conversation where we're chatty Cathys, because we were so excited about the science of what our backgrounds, as well as involving the intuition and energy, and in my byline of my Transforming Your Tomorrows, it is combining intellect with intuition, and I think this woman is the composite of what that definition means too. So tonight I get to welcome Robin Hager, who is a PharmD, HTP-A, and I'm sure that means a health certified healer, but she'll tell us that. But let me share with you her background. For over 20 years, Robin, a PharmD, has served as an essential leader in the healthcare industry in various roles, to include market director of pharmacy for a multi-site hospital system, and her most recent role in hospital administration as the CEO. She currently resides in Las Vegas, Nevada, where she moved after she graduated with her Doctor of Pharmacy degree from the University of Arizona. During her training at the College of Pharmacy, she had the privilege of working with the integrative medicine program overseen by Dr. Weil. Wow, I love that. I love that. Throughout her career, she has served on various corporate committees tasked with writing clinical protocols, position statements, policies, and creating regulatory procedures. And she's mentored and served as a preceptor for over 50 plus pharmacy students, as well as several doctoral nursing candidates. She's also involved in community nonprofit organizations, board of directors such as Chariot of Fire Ballooning and CASA Foundation, in addition to several educational programs that include immunization clinics, wellness clinics, and disaster preparedness. She has a long-standing passion for helping others integrate Western and Eastern medicine therapies and modalities. Another reason why I love her. Her vision is to build a private practice for biofield therapy, facilitate research, and provide much needed education to help pave the way for a culture within the United States and our healthcare system that allows for safe integration of alternative and complementary therapies. This is a woman after my own heart. Oh my God. In addition to her passion for energy medicine and therapies, she also owns, which is why I brought her here tonight as an entrepreneur, an herb and oils business where she provides high quality products as well as education relating to essential oils, herbs, and the concept of utilizing food as medicine. She strongly believes in lifelong learning, and she most recently began studying family constellations, an indigenous healing modality that allows the person to heal family traumas at the soul level. To bring balance into her life, she also enjoys spending time with her friends and family, cooking, taking trips, and spending afternoons playing with her granddaughters, Braylon, who's 2, and Harley, who's 4. And I cannot believe that you have a granddaughter, old enough to have granddaughters.
I do.
We look awesome, don't we? I mean, it's like, yes. But you can, Robin, welcome. I love it. I love all that you do because, like I said, you truly are the epitome of combining intellect and intuition, science, and alternative complementary therapies and modalities. And I think now it's probably the alternative medicine world is a multi-trillion with a T dollar industry. And I know when I was working in the corporate world, I used to tell doctors that, look, there's an opportunity here for you not to lose money. I mean, medicine is business. Let's all face it. But to acknowledge that there's perhaps an alternative, especially for women. And this could be, I only speak for myself, guys listening out there, but as a woman, I cannot take a lot of medicines. But alternatively, I'll take turmeric and for my joints, or I'll take different things. So having said that, I'm also very open to, acupuncture and energy work, obviously crystals. I mean, so many things that is in the energy modality field. And if it doesn't work for you, it doesn't mean it doesn't work, period. It just doesn't work for you. And we're not, just as a caveat to this show, I'll let Robin take it over from here, but it's not saying that we're beating up on allopathic medicine. We're clearly both trained in allopathic medicine. I'm a former nurse, I'm a former VP, managing ERs across the nation, having to hire doctors and nurse practitioners and making sure that they were qualified. I get it. You have to meet community standards, all those regulatory rules. But I also have always believed in expanding my consciousness to, well, maybe there's other ways. Just because in our Western world, like your goal is, we're not exposed to it here as much. But so please share with us what you do and how you're doing it, because this is so juicy.
Well, thank you. And thank you for inviting me and having me on tonight. Like you said, I do bridge Eastern and Western. Most people do integrate, and I am a big fan of that. I think that you should have a provider. Your primary care provider should be involved. You should have a provider that supports you in integration. So I also do consultations with people, and we talk through that because they don't know how to navigate. They they're not gonna understand. Yeah, they will. So that's my passion, is to do it safely for people and to educate them so that they don't overuse, underuse, and they don't go into their physician office and not disclose all of the things that they're doing, because I think that they're not giving an opportunity to the provider to help and interject at that point. So I first started Urban Oils as an oil and an essential oil and education business, doing herbs, and also counseling people and working with people on food. I started the company in 2012. My aunt was diagnosed with breast cancer, and she was looking for alternatives to integrate into her chemotherapy and her radiation therapy. And we specifically interviewed oncologists who were a big fan of this. And at the time in 2012, there weren't a lot of oncologists that were on board, but nowadays, I believe that most oncologists know a lot about food and different phytochemicals in our environments and things like that. So yay, I think we're moving along the spectrum. So I started the business. I developed quite a few things to help people with sleep, with anxiety and stress, because that is obviously inflammatory process, which leads to disease. That's Zen, and I use Dream Drops for sleep. And then another one is Tummy Tamer. I have a few products here. Let's see if the lighting will allow you to see that. There we go. So this is a roll-on. You actually roll it on to your stomach. So it would go in a clockwise motion. It's a blend. It's only 5% oil and a carrier oil. So when I do safety education with folks, I teach them you only need a little bit. So there's a lot of essential oil companies out there, and we all know those. There's a membership involved and an auto ship involved. And then you get all these oils, and you have so many you're not even sure what to use. So I like to keep it simple and keep it low. In pharmacy, start low, go slow, right? Same thing in plant-based medicine. So you only use that which you need, which is about 5%. Now, if you burned yourself in the oven, you're going to use straight lavender oil, right? You wouldn't probably use a blend at that point. But for most folks, they can definitely use a blend, and they're not as potent, you know. And they're actually less expensive that way too. And you don't get all these bottles piled up, is what I'm seeing out there. Joellen, can you hear me? Okay, I cannot hear you. I'm looking for options. There we go.
I don't know what happened. Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Okay, all right, perfect. So, okay, all right, so good. I'm glad we're back. And not getting any comments, but that's okay. So I think, you know, what I was saying is just making sure that people understood that because of your scientific background, because of your PharmD degree, a doctorate in pharmacy, you were able to incorporate, and again, of your family's needs, their own personal needs, create products that ease that pain and discomfort. And I think you hit the perfect subspecialist field, hematology and oncologists, especially the oncologists, because I know many, as a nurse, you know, many times patients would be upset to their stomach or, you know, have the nausea and vomiting, and they've learned over time that they can take things to help soothe that, and also meditation, what they're listening to, even as they're receiving the chemo. All of that makes sense. I mean, many, many years ago when my mom was alive, there's music for healing that has certain, and that's how binaural beats and you know, was really born out of the ability to work with our brain. Plants, I think this plant medicine, obviously it's not the same as healing music, but it's different in that it really permeates through every cell in your body, and it allows it, like you were explaining to me, it conforms to what your body needs.
Yes.
Right. So share a little bit about that, because I love that.
Awesome. So the plant-based medicine carries the intelligence as well as the immune system of the plant. So when you uptake it, either internally or topically on the skin, which you're still getting it in that form too, it has an intelligence, and its DNA is very similar to our DNA. And so your body only takes in that which it can use, and it excretes that which it doesn't. The other very, very important piece of plant-based medicine and food is that the DNA is actually evolving. So a plant has to survive out in its environment. So it evolves its DNA, it gets stronger. And we know this over the last year. I think the general public is very well versed in DNA mutating. So that's why the plant is so effective. All of the antimicrobial properties of the plant are mutating along with the environment, right? It's getting stronger. And so when you get your new lavender that was just harvested last season, right, then you actually have an evolved lavender that is important. Because when you look at the drug world, which is my world as well, it's static, Our antibiotics don't change, right? We have to go in and manipulate that in a lab because it's synthetic typically. So we have to change its chemical structure. We have to get it back out to market, right? Which has to go through FDA and all that. Could take 10 years to get to market.
Right.
And that's where we see a lot of resistance in the hospitals, especially, or kids' ear infections, things like that, because the bug is mutating much faster.
Wow. And so that's what's really cool if those who listen to this, if you're finding that you can't sleep, that you have GI distress, and what were some of the others, Robin?
Stress, a tummy tamer for GI, and Dream Drops for sleep, and Defend for immune boosting.
That's good.
Headache blend. I mean, there's pretty much an oil for everything that you have. And I also do custom blending. So if I have a referral, typically, because my world is medicine, I get a lot of doctors referring their patients. They've exhausted all options for the pharmaceutical world and even the over-the-counter stuff. And so they'll say, okay, as a last resort, would you like to try this? So I usually get the harder cases, but that's totally fine. I work with them. I do a nice intake. We find out what they use, what doesn't work, what's really going on. So we get down to the root of it. And then we custom blend and we tweak the formula to specifically meet their needs right where they're at.
That's pretty cool because, I know when you and I talked, I said, yes, I'll take one of each. My sleep habits, it's like when I sleep.
Right. I remember that.
And last night I went to sleep late, and then about an hour and a half later, I had this massive nightmare and it wakes me up. And it's not only little sleep, it's disrupted sleep at times, and things. So it's interesting. And I think, I know years ago when I was in the corporate world and I had working with a sleep physician, he was saying, obviously the blue lights, if you're on the computer, which I am on a lot, that's my own behavior. I have to change, right? But it's also understand, they would tell you, let's take a pill and then shut off this. And, a lot of those things just don't work. I mean, and I'm not one who wanted to be on a pill, so I'll just tough it out and I'll just do what I can unless it gets, really, really bad. Yeah. But yeah, I love it when you can have herbals and things. So today, when you look at clients, so they can come to you and get something straight away without having to wait and get this multi-process order that sits in your cabinet or in your refrigerator. Or do you refrigerate these, or do you just put them in a dark space?
So some do get refrigerated. The custom blends, if I'm blending with aloe vera and some things like that, then I'll ask them to put it in the refrigerator.
Oh, okay. So, but depending on the directions that you give the end user, and it's really customized. I love that. Whether it's, and knowing that herbal oil and medicine can, just like you said, the virus that we've just gone through in the past year, it permutates. Right. It has an iteration to another type of, presence. And right. So this really just molds to the needs of your body. And I love that. I love it, love it, love it. So guys, I want you to definitely check her out. My stepson here, he's such an awesome, supporter of me. Thank you. But if you guys would be interested in something like that, whether it's for sleep or if you've got GI distress or if you've got significant stress or immune issues or headaches, like she talked about, or just to name a few. But either way, just go online to herbsandoils.com and check her out. Robin is so amazing. She's doing so many things and now working as a CEO of a hospital as well. I mean, that's a busy life. And plus little grandkids. I mean, how yummy is that? But this is great. So I'm going to be, if you haven't looked at it tonight and you happen to see it, either on Facebook, I'll also post this on, obviously we're live streaming to YouTube, but I'll also be available on LinkedIn. So with that, Robin, I want to make sure, is there anything else you want them to know?
Well, I did want to show you the chakra blend. I also have these
Perfect.
It's an oil for every chakra. And when I work in the bio field, in the therapy, energy medicine is what you will hear it being called, I oftentimes will refer clients to also get an oil. So if they're having a hard time with their solar plexus and a lot of stomach issues, right? So the tummy tumor is good, but then they also probably need to balance the solar plexus.
Oh, wow.
The solar plexus oil, the heart chakra oil, if they're grieving or if they just need more love balance. So
you guys should definitely call her cell number, call her number just for a brief, chat with her, 10 or 15. This woman's very, very busy. So, but call her because she can say, okay, this is what I think you need. Literally, we didn't have a lot of time when we chatted. I mean, like, yes, I can't wait to know you. I love all the stuff you know. I love all the things you're saying. I love the way you think. It really is combining science with the ability to incorporate alternative ways of thinking and producing something out of science, but that is more than science. And I love that. I love living that way. So please call her, get a brief consult with her, or just go to her website and pick what you want. I know I am because I know what I need. So with that, I adore you, Robin. I'm so glad you could come tonight. Thank you so much.
All right, and just one clarification: I do this full time now, so okay.
So you don't have to do this. Oh, okay. I misunderstood. That's
no.
Awesome. All right. So, and frankly, if I have any doctors out there, I try to reach out to a lot of doctors, give her a call, because you know what? Some of your patients may not be telling you that they're interested in this because they're afraid because you're an allopathic trained physician. But I would suspect, with it being a multi-trillion-dollar industry, they're also looking for alternatives. So why not take that on and say, you know what? Let me play in this playground. So that would be my recommendation to all the physicians out there. So perfect. All right. Thank you. And thank you guys for listening. I know you have choices where to go. And if you didn't listen live, listen to the replay and we'll catch up with you. And next week, I will have someone who talks about stress eating during this past year. And oh yeah, I know that too. All right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Robin.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.